Hi, I'm Robyn from Red Robyn Crafts. Today I'd like to show you how to transfer your outlines and markings from the pattern to your felt using iron-on transfer pens. In this example, you can see I've used these pens to create the cracks on Humpty Dumpty's face and also to mark the bricks on the wall. There are a multitude of ways to transfer your markings, and if you have a favourite method, then by all means use it. But this is my favourite method, so I thought I'd show you how it works. Here it is. This is the best way I've found to transfer markings onto my felt pieces if I'm not planning on stitching them. So by markings I mean something like text or outlines, anything like that, anything where normally on the stitched pattern you would backstitch. If you're wanting to just use a pen to put that on, this is the method that I would use. Now I always begin by printing out just on regular printer paper. There's nothing special at all about this paper. On regular printer paper I will print out the pattern piece that is reversed. You'll find in every pattern there's always one reversed page, and that's specifically for this purpose. So here I have my reversed logo. I always print it out using a draft setting on my printer, just so that there's slightly less ink on the page. It usually helps. Now I use these iron-on transfer pens. This particular set I've ordered has a set of 8 pens. You can buy them individually. You could just buy a black pen if you're just wanting to just do the odd project. I use them quite a bit, so I justified the purchase of 8 so that I have a range of colours. That's up to you. So I'm going to use, for this demonstration, I'll use the red one. Now to get the pens started, you'll find you'll always need to give them a shake. You can hear that there's a little piece in there to get the ink moving. And then the very first time you need to use the pen, the ink is not yet in the tip. You need to get that in there. And you do so, I'll use the bottom of this page, do so by just pushing down gently a few times until the ink starts to come through. There it is. So now I've got ink in the tip of my pen, so I can use that now. All I need to do is very carefully, I'm going to trace over the outline that I'm wanting to transfer onto my felt. So here, I'll just carefully draw around the logo. It's a little awkward because of course I'm writing backwards. There we go. Trace that on. And then I'm going to turn it over onto my felt. And using my iron set to a cotton setting, so quite high, with absolutely no steam. It's really quite important that you don't use steam on this. I'm just going to press my iron over the top of where I want that transfer to appear on my felt. Now I'm going to have to be careful not to move the page at all. If I move it, I'm going to end up with a poor transfer that has multiple lines. It just looks messy. So be really quite particular not to move it. Hold your iron over the area to transfer for about 30 seconds and gently move it around. You'll find that there are steam holes in the base plate of your iron. If you hold it in one place, you'll find that those areas with the steam holes won't transfer. So just very gently move your iron around. When you feel like it's been on long enough, keep holding that piece of paper in place. Don't move it, but just gently peel back one corner to check that you are in fact happy with the transfer. That looks fantastic to me, so I'm ready to take that off. If you're not happy with it, just keep the paper on and put the iron back on top again. And there I have a perfect transfer onto my felt. You can see that it hasn't picked up any of the ink at all from the printer. It's just the red ink from the pen. These really do work extremely well. The best part about them is that if I wanted to transfer this again, I can. All I need to do, turn my page over again, smooth this up a little, iron it again. Now you'll find each successive time that the transfer is less intense. This won't be nearly as bold as the original one, but it is at least a perfect identical copy. Of course, I could always just draw over it again if I wanted to get a more intense transfer. And there it is again. Clever pens. Now always do a test piece. I'm using white felt, so I can be quite certain that the colour that's on the pen it's going to come out as. Always do a test piece though. I find especially when I'm using coloured felt and a coloured pen, it won't necessarily come out the colour that I'm intending. So just do a little test piece before you use it on your final felt piece, and I'm sure you'll find lots of applications for these pens. Hope that helps.